you, Sugar Buns. This machine just called me an asshole.
What does an atheist say when someone sneezes? Only when provoked made a lot of sense. I mean, geez, I know that was tough on you. Are you okay? Or whatever. I can't really paraphrase correctly, but what do you say? I believe in spirituality, like a lot of atheists do. I despise organized religion, and I believe in the soul. I believe we all have souls. Some are black souls, I mean, as in dark and evil, and and some are benign and good-natured. But what does sneezing have to do with the soul? Is there some old custom from the Dark Ages where you lose your soul when you sneeze? Like, don't take my picture, you'll steal my soul? I tend to gravitate toward Gesundheit, but as Only When Provoked said, if someone is Jewish, but I mean, then you can just say to your health. I think that works. I don't want to offend anybody's religion, but then again, I don't want to be caught up in this in the politically correct sociopathological. God, don't say this, don't say that. What do you say to an American Indian when they sneeze? How? How high are you? How high are you? How high are you? Hiccup Child will not answer the question about Gesundheit. Come on. Come out of your little hole.
No.
Please?
No.
Why not?
'Cause.
Gesundheit?
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. My mom's father, Donald Wilson, was a jazz piano player in D.C. He had a day job. He worked at the Hecht Company, which is a department store in Silver Spring. And for like the mid-50s to the early 40s, he was the house jazz pianist at a club that was pretty famous called the Bayou in Georgetown. It was right below what's called the Whitehurst Freeway at the bottom of Georgetown, facing the Potomac. Excuse me. And he died when I was probably 2 years old, and I don't remember I can't right off the bat remember what he died of. But I never really met him, and I have vague memories of him. But Grandpa Don was a really good musician. My mom, my grandmother, my grandfather's wife, my grandmother, my mother's mother, she died in 1991. and she was a beatnik. You know, she in the 40s and 50s, she you know, was a poet and was into the jazz, and of course they smoked pot. And back then, pretty much the only people that did that were people who were from, you know, the islands or from Mexico, or musicians and artists. And I don't know. I come from a lineage of the creative realm, introspection and outer spection. What's around you, aware of what's going on. My grandmother was glad that I had read 1984. I read 1984, I think, in 4th grade. I read some Ferlinghetti, and it just didn't seem to me at that age that the world, that the government or the theocracy would do these things. But it seems that it has. Like warnings, and some of us call taking the warnings or heeding the warnings paranoia, but how do you heed that kind of thing? Well, if I had gone into politics, my father's side, Linthicum, Maryland, is part of my family on my father's side, near Savage, Maryland, near Laurel, and all the money was lost. He was a senator, and he was a doctor. Had something to do with putting in the phone lines between Baltimore and New York, and I think 1903 or something, I don't remember. But he was a pretty wealthy man, Senator Linthicum, and blew it all at the Laurel racetrack. It's a horse track. I wanted to be the first generation of musicians that really made a mark. You know, my grandfather, my mother had the music, and not for pride, just that it was about time that there was something, and I want to include a lot of people with me, and that hasn't seemed to work out. That one drummer friend of mine I've known over 20 years, it just didn't work out. So it's just me and my guitar. Thanks for listening. Thank you very much.